Hello, everyone coming in. The Queen of Credit here. If you have not, it's your first time being on one of my live streams. So I want you to drop your city and state, say hello. Right, let me notify my followers that I am live as you all are doing it. Do your do now. And again, for my live stream affirmation, look for people who are creative versus critical and complainers, hustle and not hate, and focus on prosperity over poverty. We got Brandon Hicks in the house. Brandon is from North Carolina, I believe. Brandon, if I have that correct. Also do another do now for me as you all are coming in. Hit that thumbs up to help. I'm sorry, Raleigh, North Carolina. Yes, Raleigh, North Carolina. Hello. On my Facebook from Houston, Texas. Hello, Tara. I think you sent me some text messages today. So let me send out these text messages. A lot of going on today. This weekend, a very busy weekend. A lot of people are signing up for the home-based business, freeing themselves financially. And there's one thing that I found out is that I think that, I'm a public school teacher, right? And I think the saying that cash flow is king is a cliche because people don't really understand, right? The message behind it. They don't understand what that means. If you ask them, they'll say it, right? They may even believe in it, but they don't know what it means. And a lot of people will hop on my live streams and I would tell them cash is not king because cash loses its purchasing power, meaning that the more cash that is stemmed or produced by the feds, right? Let me send one more text message to my group, my people while I'm looking down. The more prices or inflation, right, will increase on everyday goods and services. So that means cash loses its purchasing power, right? I'm looking for this last group that I need to send a text to, this last group text. So cash loses its purchasing power. And with that explanation, I often state that cash flow is king. And, I found out that people don't know what that means. They love to say, I even have a shirt with it on. Cash flow is king. And I decided to do shirt, but they have no idea what that means. So I want to give you all a mini lesson. I am signing up people for the home-based business today because it's a $99 stimulus credit just for today, and it covers every aspect of your financial life. I can only cover the credit part, right? I can only cover the credit part, but people, we are entering in a recession right now. The $600 stimulus ends on July 25th and 26th. And also the eviction, right? The eviction law that's in place that landlords cannot evict tenants under the CARES Act, that ends July 25th. Now, I'm going to explain this. That eviction only applies to landlords who have a government loan, right, to finance their property. So if they have a FHA loan, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, maybe a fourplex or fiveplex, or some type of government loan, against the property. That only applies to this. So if they have a conventional loan, right, then that does not apply to those landlords, and they could evict their tenants if they are unable to pay. So, you may be hearing that landlords cannot evict tenants because of the CARES Act. That is only if that property is financed through government entity or government loan. So Brandon is coming right in. Cash flow is king, income producing process. That's telling me the what of why cash flow is king. It's not telling me the why. Why does that make cash flow king? Right? Why does income producing assets make cash flow king? Can anyone answer that for me? Whether you are watching live or you watch this on the replay, you can drop this in the comment before I break down my 5 reasons of explaining why cash flow is king and how this home-based business will help you create cash flow and why it's an asset as well. Now, the type of assets that I believe in are real assets, tangible assets, right? So you have to know the difference. The reason why I'm not an advocate, for example, for non-tangible assets such as stock market, options trading, day trading, or swing trading, is simply because, number one, after I break down to you all why cash flow is king, is that that's the highest tax form of capital gains in the stock markets, right? That you can have. So cash flow, simply put, Martin put in the statement that continuous scheduled payment. That is one reason why cash flow is king, right? That is one reason. I want you all to know that I am also highlighting your city and states and comments. So I might not, say it, but I see it. So thank you for coming in, dropping your city and state. All right. Brandon says builds wealth and pay less taxes legally, allow you to keep more money. Brandon, I do like that definition. I do like that comment because people don't understand the difference, I don't think, between a W-2 income and a 1099 income. See, there are a lot of restaurants right now, for example, a lot of restaurants that because, yes, they received a lot of capital gains, right? A lot of capital gains during the years or the months that they were in operation. But now that the cash flow is stopped, maybe after 3 or 4 months, they have to file for bankruptcy or they have to close their doors. And the same would be for people. The same would be for people. Now, yes, you may have a large income stream from your job, right? But once that income cuts down, once it stops, or once your hours are reduced, or once you are demoted, or once you're furloughed, income stops. So it's the difference between cash flow and income. So let me break it down. I have it on my notes. And let's go right into this. Ace, let's see what Ace is saying. The Donald promises to save the middle class when a politician promised to save your behind is finished, be your own boss. Ace 1, why would you think a wealthy person like President Donald Trump cares about the middle class, and why should he care about the middle class? Don't you think that President Trump's interest of how he's running or operating this economy will be in his own interest and in the interest of his rich and wealthy friends and CEOs? So why don't the middle class learn the rules that President Trump's want to play by and level up? See, I am tired of the middle class and the poor working class complaining about politicians, Congress, and the government. Like you said, be your own boss. However, right, the middle class has this mindset and the poor working class, because to me, middle class is anyone that makes six figures from their job. If you're not making six figures, you are poor working class. A lot of people that make 50 and 60,000 a year consider themselves as middle class, and I don't think that's accurate. You're a poor working class. So why don't you learn the game, the rules of the rich and wealthy, and play by them? Right? So the number one reason, you're welcome. Yeah, learn the rules. Stop, I coach basketball, right? I coach basketball. And if I coach girls, if my girls come to me complaining about the referees are calling traveling, they're calling this a foul, they say I traveled, they say that I didn't take the ball out of bounds and I stepped over the line and that was a violation, or I would shoot my free throw and they took away my made free throw because my foot touched the line is a violation, and they come to me complaining, I'm going to say that's the rules of the game. You have to adjust. They're calling the rules right. Learn the rules so you can get your point, or you won't be frustrated when you really do foul and you don't think that's a foul, right? So, read these comments. Hi, Quinn Forward. I'm really undecided because I'm passionate about credit, but I don't fully understand the other business. That's fine. I'll get into the other business later. I'm going to focus right now on the 5 rules or why cash flow is king. And then if you stay all the way to the end, I will focus on the business. So the number one reason why cash flow is king is because cash flow, as I type, number one reason. No, Martin, I don't believe in owning anything. The rich and wealthy does not believe in owning anything. They believe in controlling. And see, that's a lot of things with the Black and brown community. We want to own because for so long, we never owned anything. We work to make other people rich, and we believe in ownership. But the rich and wealthy own nothing. They control everything, right? Rich and wealthy own nothing, meaning nothing, their personal assets is not in their name. They control everything. They don't own their businesses because they don't want to be susceptible to liability. They control the businesses and they allow someone else to take on the liability of the ownership. But they have control, right? So the number one reason, and I said cash flow, I meant to say cash flow. Number one reason that cash flow is king is because it can be earned collaboratively. It can be earned in collaboration, right? It can be earned in collaboration, meaning that when it comes to your income or your job, that's a solo project. Your job is contingent on your labor, right? Your job is contingent upon your labor, meaning that if no work is performed, no pay is given. That's not true for cash flow. Cash flow can be earned through the collaboration or the teamwork of others. It was John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest pioneers in this country, that said, I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. See, income requires 100% of your effort and 100% of your labor daily. Cash flow can be done collaboratively and let me see, what's your profile name? And this is why Warrior for Truth, this is leading up to what the business offers. Because even though credit is queen, people, cash flow is king, right? Even though credit is queen, cash flow is king. And I'll tell you why I believe that credit is queen all the way at the end of this video. So number one, it can be earned collaboratively through the collaborative efforts of other people and not just the labor of your own. Number two, the reason why cash flow is king is because it is taxed lower than income, right? The number two reason, I hope you all are taking notes, because these are my notes. These are my notes. I hope you're making a mind message connection. I want you to recognize that note takers are money makers, right? We're having credit class and credit church, so I want you to put that in the hashtag as well. Credit class and credit church. Put that in the hashtag as well, whether you are watching this live or and the replay. The number two reason why cash flow is king, because it can be taxed lower than your income. See, the IRS is all about numbers and codes, right? Numbers and code. And I want you all, this text came in right on time from my home-based business that I just earned my daily pay, my $30 guaranteed daily pay. It comes every day at 4:00 Central Standard Time. That's another reason why cash flow is king, right? Because the third reason, it's the second reason, is tax lower than income. When you are a W-2 earned labor worker, you get a W-2 at the end of the year. You earn money or currency or cash through a 1099, you're taxed lower than a W-2 income worker. So the third reason why cash flow is king is because unlimited, thank you, Martin. Martin is a good person at making a mind message connection. See, Carissa has put the hashtags in, credit class and credit church. I will share a biblical scripture with you at the end of this video to let you know the process for progress, for prosperity. The Bible is the #1 best-selling book on prosperity. You can't not get away from the Bible. Over 2,300 50 scriptures about money. When I say money and money management, silver, gold, and money management, how to double up your currency, right? So the third reason why cash flow is king, because unlimited currency is the only way to beat inflation. I just showed you my text message. I was sitting here live and received a deposit, my daily pay every day from my home-based business. No work had to be done, right? On my behalf, I get daily pay based off work I did one time months ago, right? So unlimited currency or cash is the only way to beat inflation. Now, what is inflation? Inflation is what? I'm going to give you all the opportunity to answer that live on the replay. While I read this comment. V. Mello says, I hear multiple states have extended it in California. I'm assuming you're talking about the $600 stimulus, and that is not the federal stimulus, V. Mello. That is not the $600. The unemployment for the state may have been extended, maybe $200 or $300, whatever the state offers, right? But the $600 from the federal ends July 25th, and for some, July 26th. That portion will not be extended. So back to my question, what is inflation? Brandon says inflation, because again, this is credit class. So I need you all to connect and to comment. You got to participate. That's the price of participation for free information, right? I could be writing this in a book versus being live streaming and sharing it with you. So what a nice profile picture. The Ramsey vlog, I think that is. Okay, when prices rise or go up, great. Inflation increase of goods and services, 3% and beyond. Great. So I have a good class today. Great example of inflation. I seen a menu for McDonald's filet of fish, 1970. It was 34 cents. Tried it today. But you know what? The same amount of silver that could buy a filet of fish in 1970, that same amount of silver or gold can buy that price today. That's why gold and silver is real money. It's God's money, right? It cannot be manipulated by the feds, right? But cash and currency always can. Jesus said the increase of goods and services when prices go up. You're welcome, V. Mello. Teresa, I don't know if you caught my live stream last night. I went over the article explaining that the $600 ends in approximately 5 or 6 days. The only thing that's extending in certain states is the state's unemployment. If you all want me to bring that article back up and share it again, I will. The state's unemployment may be $200-300 a month, but the $600 support from the government, in addition to your state, the government $600 stimulus will end July 25th and 26th, along with the eviction deadline for renters under the CARES Act, right? So when your money, yes, inflation, money loses purchasing power, happen when Federal Reserve prints too much money. Exactly. And that's where we are now, right? So this is why cash flow, another reason why, or my third reason, because you have to have unlimited currency, right? You cannot get paid once a month, once a week, or bi-weekly when daily prices are increasing, right? Thank you so Thank you so much. I've been saying that. It's only state unemployment, and it varies by whatever state you're located. Because in Mississippi, I think unemployment is only maybe 200. It's the lowest. I just read the article yesterday, and so you have to, just like I just showed you notice of my daily pay. You have to have daily pay for daily price range. Your paycheck this month cannot beat inflation or prices increasing for next month, especially in this environment, economic environment, right? The fourth reason, you all keep me on tab. Fourth reason why cash flow is king, because I might be saying 4, 5, and 6, is because the fourth reason why cash flow is king is because, and I need to make sure you all are hitting the thumbs up so people can join in, right? It's because cash flow appreciates with time. However, income depreciates, right? Cash flow appreciates with time. Income depreciates. Let me share this video. So cash flow appreciates, income depreciates. Now, the only way your cash flow can appreciate with time is that you have to have your cash flow in real assets. You're welcome, Angela. I'm taking my time to teach this because I know this cannot be taught in schools, or this will not be taught in schools. I talked about the education fund that was established by John D. Rockefeller and Dale Carnegie in the 1900s, early 1900s. And the whole purpose of that is they said that they want to create a nation. Let me Google that. It's one of my favorite memes. Create a nation. And it was also Henry Ford. Right? Henry Ford, John D. Rockefeller's, Dale Carnegie, and actually their families, rich and wealthy families, are control the IRS. I know a lot of people think the government controls it. That's why President Trump always state about what the Fed should do, right? What he wants them to do, right? Yet cash flow is like credit. Martin, Detroit. That's a great definition. I'm going to take note of that. That should be my fifth. And if you all are new to the live stream, you don't understand why I'm saying Detroit. But I have a teacher, an educator that's from Detroit, Michigan, like Martin, and we all often call her Detroit. Cash flow is like credit, and income is like debit. Because like credit, cash flow is unlimited. Recycle. Yeah, that's what Jesus said. Recycle and reuse is cash flow and credit. And that's why cash flow is king and credit is queen, right? That's why cash flow is king and credit is queen. Why is credit is queen? Because My hashtag, another one of my hashtags, I always say that just like this is chess and not checkers, right? Just like in the game of chess, you have to play your finances the same way. And the queen in the game of chess is the most powerful piece on the board, but the king is the most important. Let me say that again. The king is the most powerful piece on the board, but the queen is the most important. Meaning the queen can move horizontal, vertical, right, diagonally. And the queen can promote a pawn to a king, right? Your credit can take someone with limited income and promote them to maximum cash flow. I got to write that down too. That was good. Your credit can take someone with limit. I hope you all are taking notes. If the teacher is taking notes, surely the students should. With limit or no income, right? And promote them to cash flow, to maximum cash flow, to maximum cash flow. So this is John D. Rockefeller. He created the General Education Board, GEP. This is why this is not taught in schools. In 1903. It should be so much more people on this live stream because this will change your financial life. This financial education will change your financial life forever. And that's why a lot of people never get out of that living paycheck to paycheck, or living paycheck, as Dr. Lynn Richardson say, living paycheck to Monday, meaning they get paid Friday. By Monday, they're broke again. Because a lot of people want get rich quick, but they don't understand the education it takes, the knowledge and the chess moves to make. See, you can get rich quick once you have the knowledge. Once you have the education, then you know what moves to make. Then you know the difference between real assets and fake assets, right? Real assets are land, home. I would not consider stocks real assets because it's manipulated by the federal government. And stocks, like income, is taxed just like a W-2 employee. Capital gains. See, that's why stocks don't pay high dividends. They'll allow you every now and then, right? Because everybody show their gains in stocks. You know, options trading. I made 1,000, 2,000 a day. They don't tell you at the end of the year they're going to get a 1099 and they're going to be taxed just like an employee, and 30% of their profits, right, is going to be deducted. So I'm talking about real tangible assets, and that's what the home-based business does. Thank you, Mr. Biggs, for the $5 super chat, sending digital love and currency love all the way from North Carolina. Thank you so much. Yes, capital gains are taxed. That's why I don't consider stocks as an asset, right? I consider real estate, gold, and silver, and this home-based business. Why? Because you are taxed through a 1099 and you get to keep more of the money that you're making, right? You get to keep more of the money that you're making. Cash flow is taxed less than income, and stocks is considered capital gains income, right? Now, stocks can be, that capital gains income can be earned passively, which means it takes less of your physical labor and more of your mental labor, but it's still taxed high and it's still manipulated by the feds. The stock market is highly manipulated. How can Hertz file for bankruptcy in their stocks? value go up. And then the insiders or the CEO of these companies buy back their stocks to manipulate the value. But if you know the education behind it, I'm not against it. But if you don't have a way to save on that income that you're taxed, you're still considered a W-2 income earner versus a 1099 income earner, right? So John D. Rockefeller created the General Education Board in 1903 to dispense Rockefeller funds to education. We're on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and nations will accept the new world order. People, doesn't it sound like today? They create the crisis, and then they devalue the currency. So again, what this is, 1903. I still didn't find the meme that I was looking for, though. They create the currency, and then they devalue the currency, but they cannot devalue gold and silver. Let me see, can I find other meme that I was looking for? Here it goes. This is John D. Rockefeller meme, or his quote after he created the GED, the General Education Fund. And he says, the reason why I don't want this taught in schools, public schools, and Dale Carnegie was also on board with this. Let me see, which is my screen? It's because he states that I don't want to create a nation of thinkers, right? We want to create a nation of workers. Couldn't really get this to get bigger than that. And Henry Ford, J.P. Morgan, Dale Carnegie, that's why you hear Carnegie Hall, and the universities and institutions were all on board. And this is when Henry Ford really became rich. See, 300 years ago, land was real wealth, right? You had land, you had the wealth, because slavery was enforced, right? Enforced. And the people that owned the land and had the slaves, which was another form of W-2 labor, they were wealthy. Well, in the early 1900s, when the General Education Board, GED, was created, then it became factories, right, and systems. So Henry Ford created his factory, right? Exactly, Mark. That's why they called him. Thank you for the $3 super chat. The Ramsey vlog. Thank you so much. And so that's why Henry Ford became rich with his system of creating vehicles, right? Through people. J.P. Morgan with his oil rig became rich. So then it went to factory working systems, right? And now in 2020, what people don't understand is what's going to produce more income and make you rich is information and education, right? You are my most favorite person in the whole wide world. I'm talking about spiritual wisdom, money, mastery, financial wisdom is joining me on Periscope. My audience is not that big on Periscope. And you know what I like more about him? We share the same birthday, September 26th. And I wear a lot of his t-shirts when I go live stream. If you don't mind, Mr. Felix, will you type your website in? His slogan is to wake your successful self up. He's about the holistic person, not only financially, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. If you all follow him on Periscope, his platform is large on Periscope, and this is his website. He's also creating a YouTube channel, so I want you all to subscribe to him on YouTube as well. This is his website. So whenever I'm wearing his shirts, t-shirts when I'm live streaming. I'm going to let you all know. But I also put in your YouTube website. I'm going to ask my subscribers to subscribe to you. And this is his website. You will not be disappointed. A spiritual teacher, a biblical teacher to help any situation, right? Whether it's from money to marriage to singleship, right? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. But a man of your status can't be low key, because you have definitely impacted my life and the lives of others, right? In the lives of others. So I am just honored that you were able to catch one of my live streams and you're saying hello. And blessed us with your presence. But put your YouTube channel in for me. I know you're very busy. You may not want to stay long because I do teach long. And I'm going to ask them to subscribe to you also on YouTube, right? So you all take out the time to subscribe to his YouTube channel. His platform is really Periscope, but he's building up YouTube. And why not build up YouTube? Because YouTube is the place where serious learners come. This was all the smart, and nothing against my other platforms, right? Nothing against Facebook, Periscope. I love you. But YouTube are where the serious people are. So serious students want serious teachers. So you all subscribe to him on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. And Carolyn, also, she said he's great, a man of wisdom. But I'm hopefully I can build up my Periscope as well. You know, I don't do Periscope as much, but I've been live streaming on Periscope. So you all do the queen a favor and subscribe to this king on YouTube, right? You won't be disappointed. So thank you so much, Mr. Felix. Yeah, I know your birthday is in March, Martin, but you know, we're Libra, September 26th. That's just a special day. So we share our same birthdays. And so that's why yeah, YouTube is taking over television. You're welcome, Mr. Felix, my great king. So thank you for joining in. Thank you for catching me on a Periscope, right? If I get 30 views on Periscope today, just the one view from you made it all worth it. So now I think we are on the 5th reason why cash flow is king, right? Why cash flow is king? Because, and you all help me because you all are great students. Am I on 5 or am I on 6? And I'm going to do this shorthand. I'll be glad when I get my PowerPoint together, but this was just impromptu. I was meditating and taking notes, and it just bothered me. I said, you know, people, we say this as a cliche, but they don't really know why cash flow is king. So I want to teach this, right? I wanted to teach this. Oh, you're welcome. I'm getting more Periscope people in. The 5th reason why cash flow is king is because you can never control your bills or payroll with income. You can't control your bills, right? And that's why people, I'm not against budget. You all know how I feel about using credit to create more cash flow in your life. I think it's a grave difference between credit and debt. Mr. John Lewis made a quote today, or not today, but you know, in recognition of John Lewis, he made a quote that there is such thing as good trouble, right? The civil rights leader, activist who recently passed away, John Lewis, he made a powerful quote that there is a such thing as good trouble. And you all know, I believe that there is a such thing as good debt. And I come from 2 Kings chapter 4, right? I believe credit and debt are different. Debt is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Credit is anything that puts money into your pocket. And I always reference, I told you I was going to have credit church too. The widow woman, 2 Kings chapter 4, she went to the prophet and said, my husband has died and our family is in bad debt, right? My sons are going to be sold as slaves. Can one of my moderators Help Warrior for Truth with the super chat. But hun, I think it's like a $sign you will see by the comment, and you just tap on that $sign if I'm not mistaken. My other people that have given a super chat, where you all kind of guide her through that, and thank you for wanting to give. I do appreciate that. And so they was in bad debt, right? And her husband had died, and then the prophet Elijah, and this is why you all need to follow Mr. Felix Adams and subscribe to him on YouTube, and I'm going to share his link again towards the end, is because the prophet gave her a prophetic word that went against the grain. She was in a bad financial distress, and he said, go borrow. And you know what she borrowed into? What she did? She went borrow pots. I said OPP, other people's pots. And I think it's LD. What is my Cash App? I don't know. It's LD Financial something. I don't have my other phone with my Cash App. And I forgot. LD Financial. I don't know. It starts with something with that hashtag, but I do have my picture in there. But let me look. I can look that up real quick. So the prophet told her, he said, go OPP. We're going OPP and go borrow vessels, go borrow pots, and borrow motor. So this was credit, people. This was credit. So it's even biblically, this is my revelation. You could agree or not, disagree. But the Bible tells you is a difference between credit and debt. She was in debt. Then he told her to use your credit. And what did she use her credit for? She used her credit to open a home-based business. And this is one of the ways that a home-based business can help you earn cash flow that's taxed on a 1099 and not taxed like income, right? But don't take my word. I'll find my Cash App before the end. Mr. Felix, I don't know if he's still in. I think he brought me some financial flow on my live stream. You all, this is the largest super chat I have ever received live. $100 in the largest. So I think Mr. Felix brought me some financial prosperity by the grace of his presence. He has that on him. That's what he do. Yeah, money follows him. I promise you. I think you brought that prosperity and that anointing on. Angela Queen, thank you so much. And I pray that God blesses you with this $100 back, right? 10 times more than what you sold it, and that it returns to you speedily and expeditiously. And I tell people, this is why you sow all the time, because a lot of times you can hear things, but if you don't sow into it, you will never retain it, right? Yeah, if you don't sow into it, thank you, Jesus. Jesus always have my back as well. Yes, Angela Queen, thank you for your support. And if you don't sow into things, you won't retain it. You will hear it, right? You can listen to it, but you won't be able to process exactly what I'm saying. This is what a seed does. A seed opens up your understanding and gives you the faith and the courage to take action on it. So you're not just listening, but you hear and you take action. So she used her credit, and instead of her sons working for somebody else, they worked for her in the home-based business. It was an in-house home-based business. And that's why when I found this home-based business opportunity, I found out that I cannot just teach or help you repair your credit without teaching you these financial principles, or you will always be in a continuous cycle of having bad credit, because if you don't ever increase your cash flow, right? And this is why a lot of people can budget and they still be broke. Somebody put that in for me. This is why a lot of people can budget and still be broke. Because the fifth reason, you can never control your pay raise or your income, or your bills. So you can try to switch from Sprint to Verizon. You can try to get Shell gas over Chevron. You can try to switch your utility services and slash on your bills, switch from Comcast to maybe just Netflix. But if you don't ever understand cash flow, and you don't ever understand how to use credit to create capital, and you don't ever understand taxes. See, a lot of budgeting class you all go to, they don't teach you about taxes. That's 6.2% that comes out of your paycheck. If you don't ever understand taxes, people, you will always be broke. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how you make your money, right? If you don't understand taxes, you always accumulate debt. It's not about how much money you make. Say that again. It's about how you make your money. That's why in stocks, you can make capital gains off stocks, but you're going to be taxed higher. So why not get real assets and use the bank's money, right? Not your money. The bank's money, not your money. How can you use your money? And in the church world, we'll call credit favor. Favor is what we say in the church world that replaces a lifetime of labor. If you have low income, if you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year, you can get that from the banks through your credit. Your credit can create for you more money to invest with than your labor can. And this home-based business, I'm going to break it down in a few minutes. Why this home-based business? And someone said, it's what's my cash app? LD Financial. I know it had, okay, I think that's it. LD Financial with the $sign. Thank you so much, Warrior for Truth. I think that's it. I have to go get my other phone. So what number, I think that I covered all 5, right? But I have 2 more I'm going to share with you why cash flow is king. I'm going to give you 2 bonuses. And I've said this, but it's different ways to say everything because different people have different learning styles. You all know that I'm a classroom teacher, right? So I may say the same thing different way, right? I may say the same thing a different way. Cash flow is non-wage money, right? Just like credit. So that's why cash flow is king. It does not have to include your personal labor. You can leverage the efforts, labors, time, talents, ability of other people, right? Again, John D. Rockefeller, I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. The number, I think 7 reason, I didn't put the number on that one. Number 7 reason is cash flow can work for you, right? Income, you have to work for it. People, I promise you, this is good. I could have just put this in a book, but I want to go live with you. I want to share it because I didn't want you all to continue to repeat this cliche, cash flow is king, because I'm a true teacher at heart without you understanding why it's king. I'm giving you 7 reasons. 7 reasons why it's king. Cash flow can work for you. Income, you have to work for it, right? Cash flow can work for you. Income, you have to work for it. Thank you so much, Carissa. And I'm going to, someone said, what about interest? That's a good question. It's a beautiful profile picture too, Periscope. Now, this is how I look at using credit to create cash flow by getting real assets. When it comes to interest, this is how you calculate it. It's called ROI, return on investment. Ask yourself, if I borrow the bank's money at, let's say, 5% interest, right? I borrow the bank's money at 5% interest. And I think I just taught this, so let me flip this chart because it's back here somewhere. This is the tax bracket, you all can see, for income earner. I discussed how President Trump's, the PPT, he wants to take away you being taxed with Social Security and Medicare out of your paychecks at 7.5%. And if that's would help you $300 to $600 a month, I'm teaching this in the home-based business how to do this for $128. And that's a special that ends today, right? Through the home-based business. A special that ends today because they're giving a 99 stimulus credit, and it's just for today. And it covers every aspect of your financial life, right? And so your federal taxes is 6.2%. So this is what having a home-based business help you lower or eradicate, and you get more money out of your paycheck, right? You get more money out of your paycheck. Yeah, this is a Jesus, this is a live stream that you're probably gonna have to replay and recycle over and over again and take notes with it if you just, listening. But I would recommend everybody replay and rewatch this, right? Thank you for the testimony, Latoya. It said it's been less than 30 days. I help. Yeah, I do. That's why, I take pride in the name that has been given to me, the Queen of Credit. But there are other companies out there that do it month to month. But I take pride in getting every negative item that's reported inaccurately, unverifiable, or incomplete. At a one time, some people have up to 10, some people have up to 15. I don't do one at a time or two at a time at a month. And I understand some people have to have month to month because of their money situation, right? But everyone that I analyze in your credit report, if I see through the analysis it's reporting that way, then it gets challenged and disputed that way the first time, right? I don't do little by little, piece by piece, bit by bit. So I'll share the link with the home-based business. Give me 1 second. And so if you're an employee, you're going to get taxed 30 to 40%. So you ask yourself the question, who took my money? I'm telling you, the feds are taking it, right? Give me one second, Martin. I'll go. Let me see. Can I get my daughter out? Let me call her. And so then if you're self-employed, meaning you're a specialist, a lawyer, doctor. Hey, will you go in my bedroom and bring my other phone off the dresser?
I'm in the
Okay.
I'll play the game on my phone.
Okay.
I just don't think it's
all right. She said she's taking a bath, so she can't. But I'll go get it real quick. But if you're self-employed, you're taxed anywhere from 40 to 50%. But here's where the home-based business come in. So you're taxed a total about approximately 13.7% out of your paycheck. And honey, I'm coming back to the question about interest. Just stick with me. I'm coming back. But this is where investors do. And this is why, and I use the word debt because that's what people are familiar with. But again, I like to say debt takes money out of your pocket. Credit puts money into your pocket. When you use credit or the bank's money or debt to invest, people, you are taxed at 0%. Did you all know that? See, this is tax at the highest. Kyle, I need to take this one day. at the highest percent that you can get taxed as an employee. That's why they want you chasing this, running after the current. This is how they tax you the highest. But when you earn it through a home-based business or you use credit to invest, credit is not taxed. Actually, it's a tax write-off for you at the end of the year. So let me explain this while I go get my cash out. Give me 2 seconds. Someone said credit is the base of wealth on my YouTube. You all, I have money just sitting in my Cash App as well. That's why you all, you need to have multiple streams of income, right? So I should know my Cash App by heart, but I don't. Oh, okay, this is it. So it's I'll put it in. This is my Cash App. I knew it was something similar to this. So that's my full Cash App. LD Financial Coaching. Right, LD Financial Coaching. So this is called the cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki teaches this, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So my is this it? One of my followers asked, what about the interest on your credit? Now, with credit, it can work for you or it can work against you. What do I mean by that? You can pay the bank's interest through a mortgage, student loan debt, credit card debt, or you can get paid interest through the bank's money and credit card, right? Now, my credit cards are 0% interest rate because I have a qualifying credit score or a high credit score, right? I'm going to give me 1 second. I'm going to answer the question about the business, and then someone asked for the business link. So let me put this in here as well, because that 99 stimulus does end today. So at midnight Eastern Standard Time, the business is $128 to start, 90% off the regular price of $228. So this is how credit works. This is how my the 2 Kings chapter 4 lady worked credit. Now, I talked about velocity banking on this certain thing. So that's why you see this here. I'm breaking down how the banks charge you interest on a mortgage. So the bank's purpose is cash flow. See, they don't want your cash. They want cash flow. So they want to give you the concept that you're paying low interest over a long period of time. But actually, even at a low interest rate, if you had a $136,000 mortgage, for example, and this can be a student loan example, they have you calculated at $510,000 of interest, and that's spread over a 12-month or an annual period. So even in your mortgage payment, $425 is already front loaded in the interest you will pay every month if you was paying $1,275,000 on a mortgage balance this much. So interest rates when it comes to credit are just interesting because you can pay back less interest, right, over a shorter period of time of a loan and pay back higher interest over a longer period of time of a loan. So let's say, for example, this is where I was using how you can use a $20,000 credit card at 0% interest and save or shave over $92,000 interest on a $136,000 loan. So this is how you use credit cards to cancel out mortgage debt or mortgage interest at a high interest rate. So that's called velocity banking. Now this is when I talk about using debt or credit to invest. Let's just say you took out a $10,000 loan, right? Now you can do this on a credit card, line of credit, if you have 0% interest rates, which is very not anything unknown, because even Chase Freedom cards have 0% balance transfer offer, $200 cash back for 18 months at this time. And you invested it, you took the money from the bank, you invested it in a cash flowing property or a house, then you have a tenant. Now, you will have to repay the loan. Let's say the loan is $350 a month. Your tenant fees for living in that asset is $750 a month. You charge them $750 as a landlord. You at this point is not paying back the $350, your tenant is. So your passive income is $400 a month. Now, this is what is called an infinite return. Is when you have no cash of your own, none of your personal cash, right? In the loan, everything is paid from a person through having a real asset, and it's residual income, meaning it has a scheduled payment, right? A scheduled time to occur every time, every month, like clockwork. Now, the difference between that and income is that it requires little or no labor from you. Now, your tenant may call you once a month and say, my unit is out, right? That doesn't require your labor. That just requires you knowing a good HVAC person and their labor. Your tenant may call you and maybe need a carpet clean. That doesn't require your labor. That's just having a good cleaning services, a good team labor, right? You schedule and set an appointment. They may have an issue, with plumbing. And these are things that has to be done for maintenance, but not for labor, right? And so someone may ask, well, what if my tenant is gone, or they move or upgrade or downgrade? Then what? You replace another tenant. Because you have $400 positive cash flow. You should be stacking this money, storing this money. I never save money, right? I stack and store, because I'm always looking for somewhere to put cash or currency. I need to stop calling it money, because gold and silver is money. But I'm always looking for somewhere for cash or currency to place it to create cash flow, right? And so this is what you look at. Let's say it's not 0% interest on the loan or the credit. Maybe it's 5%. But when you are getting double the amount to pay off the debt at a quicker rate, or the credit at a different rate, and you pay, if you stack up your positive cash flow, you can pay this off, and then everything after that is infinite return, meaning you have no money in the deal, and eventually you'll have no credit or no debt in the deal as well. And the reason why cash flow is king is because when you get real estate, for example, you always have equity. You can always pull money out and reduplicate. We talked about unlimited income. Credit and cash flow is the same, because they can always reduplicate and repeat and reuse. I'm going to type that in. They can always reduplicate, repeat, and reuse. You can't do that with your income. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so, how is cash flow used in the home-based business that I'm in? Because it's unlimited, because it does not require all of your effort and your labor. Your income is no ceiling, right? It's no ceiling. It's no maxed out. You know, you work a job, your employer may tell you, look, this is your max pay. It's the max you're getting paid, especially if you're a salary worker. You can work overtime and won't get an increase in pay. You won't get an increase in pay. Or they'll limit if you're a non-salary worker, okay, you can only work this many hours of overtime. And I've had people to tell me that they have gotten second jobs, right? Which was just another income stream, not another cash flow currency. And they have got second jobs and they have to reduce their hours on their second job because they were paying back so much in taxes that they were getting into a higher tax bracket, right? And so that's why cash flow is always king and better than income. That's why restaurants are closing down now because they have no cash flow. That's why big businesses is taking out loans and debt from the government to try to pay employees because they have no cash flow. It's not about your capital. You can't beat capital when business owners and the government is able to control the prices of goods and services. Your income can never beat that. It's like taking knives to a gunfight. You'll never win. You'll never win. And so people, leverage is always better than your, personal labor. I'm highlighting my top 5 reasons. I said earlier in my broadcast about the $600 stimulus ending. And now I'm going to give you a solution. I told you about the problem that a lot of people, a lot of Americans, we have 50 million people unemployed right now. And their 600 stimulus is ending in 6 or 7 days. Now they may get their state stimulus, but the federal 600 is ending. Also, the deadline for the CARES Act for eviction ends July 24th, meaning that landlords, July 25th, I'm sorry, had us until July 25th, and they could not evict tenants that they were unable to pay. Well, that ends July 25th of the CARES Act, right? So now I'm going to give you a solution. And I'm going to break it down because my home-based business actually is doing a presentation. You can join. Make sure I have this website right. If you want to, how to increase your cashflow.com. The password is extra digit. If you all have any questions, go ahead and ask them now while I'm typing. And I'm going to give you a recap about the home-based business as well. The regular enrollment price is usually $228. Because these stimulus are ending in 7 days, the CEO of the company wanted to give a 99 credit or stimulus, right? And I typed the wrong thing. It's www.how to increase your cashflow.com password extra digit. It starts now, so I'm not going to be on here long. The password is extra digit. Now, let me give you a recap of this home-based business and how it helps you with two things: earn passive income, be taxed less, and leverage other people, right? Where it takes little or no labor on your own. Let me read this. Dennis says the all stopped when the widow woman had gained enough assets, not only for herself, but her sons to live free of debt. Right. And if she would have had more credit, if she would have had access to more pots and more capital, she would have become even rich and wealthier. The only thing that stopped was she did not have any more pots, any more vessels to put that all in, right? But if she had more capital and could get better, let's say this, let's just say she used her personal credit. What if she would have had access to business credit? That's a whole nother level. But she was able to retire rich, right? She was able to retire rich. She could have been wealthy had she had more capital through her vessels, right? Was the first amount of error, didn't go through completely. Warrior for truth. I don't know what you mean by that, huh? Let me show you all the website real quick. Hold on. Let me show you all the website for the home-based business. So I can walk her through. And then I'll give you all the perks and benefits. All right, let me take you out to the home-based business real quick for the 128. Then you go to opportunity. Now, if you saying, Queen, I listen to the webinar, but I want to take advantage of this $99 stimulus credit right now and get in for 128. Then I'm going to walk you through the process, and you're going to receive all instructions from me via email after that. Okay, so this is the web page that I'm on now. So you go to select opportunity, and you scroll down to join now. This is the compensation plan detail. If you want to click and select this, join now. Leave these checked, right? You'll see the $99 waive through July 19th, which is today. That's waived. So you select here, click here to continue your enrollment. If you do not have an EIN, meaning that some people enroll under their existing business, because believe it or not, just because people have business does not mean they know the tax laws, right? So getting started with this is very simple. And once you join under me, I already have your sales scripts ready for you. And you have the potential to get paid every day, right? And as I said, it covers every aspect of your financial life. And I can go through that as well. So you enter, if you want your business name and EIN, is fine. If not, you get the same tax deductions if you do it under your social. What you are doing at this point is converting your social security number into an EIN. So you are not taxed as an employee, you are taxed as an entrepreneur. You get the same tax breaks, right? If you own the franchise McDonald's, right? And so this is how you go in. You create your own website name and password, your contact information. This is how you receive your commissions and your e-wallet and Visa debit card. So you keep this box checked or blue as well. And then you enter your payment information. and it states the amount to be charged today will be $129.97. So that's how you go directly to join. So let me go back to the main page. Let me see if you all have any questions before I log out. Do I teach how to get high limit credit cards and use for real estate? I've done a lot of videos on that. And so just Google on my YouTube, on the videos, my channel, this channel. I teach a lot about how to convert credit cards into cash, right? But since I have it in my background, and I'm getting back on the home-based business. Let's say you have a 0% balance transfer card, right? And let me show you the balance transfer card that's really good right now. If you don't have it, is the Chase Freedom Card. With Chase Freedom, you get balance transfer checks. And with those balance transfer checks, you qualify now. If you qualify, you get a $200 cashback bonus special that they're offering now. This is the link. So if you qualify credit-wise, what you do is you take those checks, you pay them in order to yourself, and you deposit into your bank account, right? You get $200 cash back for $500 spending on your purchases first 3 months. I highly advise that you spend it on essential items, goods, groceries, things you would have bought with your debit card anyway. And then it's a 0%. I think I said 18 months earlier, but it's 0%, 15 months on purchases, on those purchases. And you get your $200 cash back for just spending $500 or more. Spend it on your everyday essentials. However, if you want to use for real estate, request for a balance transfer checks, write it, pay it in order to yourself. I think it'll be like a maybe 3% transfer fee on the amount. So you want to leave a little wiggle room. If it's a $10,000 approval, you may want to like $9,700 to yourself, deposit in your checking account, and then voila, it's cash. Use that cash to invest. So that's the website. Now back to the business. Ava, have you already enrolled? You say you're unable to log into your portal. Just know that you created your username and password. So I don't have any control over that. Once you all enroll for the business, you create your own username and password. Thank you, Jesus. He's instructing on how to send a super chat. Another question: If I own a business and my husband owns a business, do we need to sign up separately? That's a great question. No, you don't. The 128 will cover you and your husband for the home-based business, right? And I think we are live now, so I probably have to log off. See how to, I think my Zoom. And I hope all of my people that have joined me in the business are logged in live and not necessarily watching me at this time. But because I'm already in the private Facebook group, I do not have to access it through Zoom. But if you're not already a member, you will have to access it with Zoom. The site for the Chase card is here. All right, so this is live. He's already live. The last live stream for today is at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, right? So I gave you the link for the business, and I don't have the volume up. I will turn the volume up after this, but it's already live streaming. That's the link for the card to take advantage of. If you want to join the live stream, you have to have a Zoom account, right? And you can see this on Zoom as well. If you want to go ahead and join the business, that opportunity link is here. And so let me say this about this. And if you all want to stay on to the end, who's interested in the business and watch this, I'll leave it playing for you, but I will end this. Number one, this is the most comprehensive training solution that covers every aspect of your life. Number two, you get personal training, right? We have an interactive live online platform with massive engagement. Did you all see all the pictures and face back there? Massive engagement. So with me, for example, my business is not set up on phone conversations or consultation because I have to see your credit report first. But here, right, everybody's transitioned to working from home more anyway. You get to ask your questions and get them answered in real time. You don't have to wait for a phone consultation, right? Now, another reason why you want to be in this home-based business, because everything happens in seasons and people are going to have financial devastations, right? Disasters. My mentor that you see here in this top corner is Brian Bean, currently passively income through the business, $30,000 a month. You can't be in the Facebook group unless you're a member, right? You can't be in the Facebook group unless you are a member. Now, it's not Tyra said maybe you need to refresh the page, Ava. So try doing that. All right, maybe you need to refresh the page. It's not for mother and daughters, just for married, spousal support, right? So this is Brian Bean. Anyone that you want in the business, he's willing to do a 3-way call with you. He's showing you his daily pay. I think he's at $500 a day, guaranteed. Those are his text messages. That's cash flow right there. And he earns $30,000 a month. So you do the initial work to get paid every day. And people, this is a very small investment, $128 one time. The business pays for itself. And getting started is very simple. And we have financial experts. See, I told you all earlier, right, that I can help you with your credit, but I couldn't help you with your W-4 and get more cash flow or income through your paycheck. This business does that. It provides solutions so you can win, right? If you do, you might not get Brian's money, but if you do a 10 of what he's doing and what everyone else is doing in this business, the only regret you will have if you don't take action today. Because the rest of this year, unfortunately for 2020, economic-wise, is looking worse. It's not looking any better. Another thing that you need, and I told you all about Mr. Felix Anderson and subscribing to him on YouTube, is you get daily motivation in your ear, training, driving you to success. You need that. You need the mindset. You just can't have the money. See, the money comes when the mindset comes, right? So, and Brian can help you close anyone that's closable. What do I mean by that? When you have someone interested in the business, and again, for me, when you join my team, I have a simple sales script I send everybody. If you follow that in a straight line, anybody that's closable, they will close. They will act because they're going to need financial help and I'm going to give you the sales script, exactly what to say. Text 1, 2, 3, etc., 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 etc. Yes, the text ends today. So if you want to join, speaking of that, and it's hard for you to see the slides, just text me cash flow after this live stream. Text me the keyword cash flow and I'll give you instructions. Right? So when you are providing solutions, people, you are going to win. You're going to win. We have a system in place for you. We have the mindset, we have the training, we have the online interactive massive engagement to answer your questions, special training. So let me let you all allow you all to listen in and hear about this. Do you have to sign people up? Arvin asked. We talked about leverage. We talked about leverage, but you have a system in place to help you for people that you are trying to help. This is a leverage-based company, just like cash flow. This is not an income company, right? And let Brian explain. I think he's explaining now. And just like cash flow, this is not an income company, right? And the idea that the McDonald's brothers had and Ray Shakes. We making what we're financial do the same thing, but our 4 core basics are called money mat. What you need to do is say, okay, I know people who need their taxes lower so their check can go up. I know people who need their credit scores higher so their interest can go down. I know people who need to get out of debt. The experts do the work, and for $228 normally. This is freezing up on me for some reason. So no, you don't have to sign people up. You can follow the system that we have in place, and the system will sign people up. Again, if you do a tenth of what everyone else is doing in this business, the only regret you'll have is that you didn't take action today. And so if you know any people that's furloughed, who hours are cut, who may be facing eviction, whose $600 stimulus ends in approximately 5 to 6 days, you don't have to sign people up, but you do have to present the solution to the problem that they're having in this economic times, right? And again, we help you close anyone who's closable. Anyone who's closable. It's a very simple system, and it's handled by a financial expert in every aspect of finances or issue that people will face. Because not everyone will have limited income. Some people are looking into what can I do with my income now that cash is depreciating, and they want to take advantage of the, let me see, can I log in again? Land investment opportunity that through this business that it offers, right? It's out of Antelope, California. They are calling it Green Valley. Just like Silicon Valley took over the tech, right, community, this is taking over the Green Valley community. People are buying deeds at wholesale price, and they can cash out for retail. So you have some people who are looking for good real assets, right, to invest their money in during this economic reset, because this can be a tragedy for some, a setback for some, and an opportunity to increase wealth for others. Now, what will prohibit people from signing up? I'm gonna answer that, but let me get on this Antelope Valley investment for people who's looking for the equity max. Again, it's Antelope, California, called Green Valley as well. NASA has provided 6,000 jobs there. Warren Buffett has his transit system going through there. So you're purchasing land through this home-based business through the path of growth. So you purchase the deeds wholesale and you get profits resale. That may be 5 years from now, maybe 4 years, but it's just like the value of gold and silver would be 4 years from now. Now, let me say this. You will be able to close anybody. The only thing that will stop people from signing up is their own limited mindset and belief. And there's nothing you can do about that. Right? That's the only thing to stop people from signing up. See, the problem with most people is not that they set their goals too high and hit it. They set their goals too low. Right? I'm sorry. Not that they set their goals too high and miss it. They set their goals too low and hit it. And when people have limited beliefs or they're afraid, especially over $128 investment, and the right time and the right season to help people that will have a flood of financial problems, it is their own limiting beliefs. Because I said earlier in my live stream, cash flow leverage the efforts of other people, right? Income leverage your own efforts. And people that want to be solo will never build wealth, will never get wealthy. They will always live paycheck to paycheck, and they will never get out of the rat race. And they're going to be in a financial disaster, and they're going to be the ones on my channel blaming the government when I provided a financial solution for you to save yourself, right? So let me see if I can, now this is the group, but you probably are not a member because you haven't joined. Once you join, you become a member, and I can see if I can play this.
37 with another. It's still been going back and forth. Right now, I checked last week, I had another 54-point increase with one bureau and 52 points with another. I'm still not where I want to be, but I don't have to do anything, so I'm glad the experts are doing all the work for me.
I love it. Look at your sister over there just rooting for you. Y'all just gonna have.
Hey, I don't think
it's all through the family. Y'all give it up for a man, great.
I don't think it's going to.
Great job, great job.
It's going to allow me to share this and stream at the same time. But again, you have massive support system. We have a spiritual leader as the CEO and financial visionary, and it's massive engagement. You get the script, you get everything you need, right? You get everything you need to be successful. And the only thing you have to do is take action and keep plugged in, because again, our leader, right? The speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader, gives daily motivation, in your ear training, driving you to success. The only thing that can stop you is you and your limited beliefs, your fear, and your mindset. So Jesus says, sounds like a no-lose investment, Buffett, NASA, Olympic Committee, and Sacramento State Cap. Yes, I'll invest in there. You're purchasing land in the path of wealth. So you all, let me get off. I'm inviting you all to come in and let some of this leak on you, right? Text me to get the link. If you didn't see it, text me. I'll share the link with you, because we have one more of these training before the 99 credit ends tonight, midnight at Central Standard Time. Again, the key word to text me is cash flow to 601-720. And I put my wrong number in. I'm glad I said that out loud, or I would not. That's why I tell you all to engage and make a mind message connection, because you can think you have one thing and it's not right. The key word, you all, if you've been texting somebody else, I do apologize. You've been texting somebody else's phone. The text keyword is cash flow to 601-720-2063. So I hope you all didn't cash anyone. Text it to anyone else. 601 cash flow 202063. You can catch the import of this live training, or our 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock training is the last one that you'll see, and that stimulus in midnight Central Standard Time. Thank you again, Angela, for my first highest ever super chat donation on my live stream. Thank you again, Queen. So anyone else that want the Cash App, that's my Cash App. And if you want to go ahead and log into the Zoom, this is the website. Again, okay, I see the text messages are coming in. How to increase your cashflow.com, password extra digit. How to increase your cashflow.com, password extra digit.